St. James security guard charged for shooting customer during confrontation. The police in St. James have charged a security guard for shooting a customer during a confrontation at the business establishment where he worked. Charged with wounding with intent, using a firearm to commit a felony, and discharge of a firearm in any public space is 52-year-old Richard Black of retirement in the parish. His court date is being finalized. The incident happened on Monday, November 18. Reports from the Montego Bay Police are that about 1:45 p.m., Black was at work at the establishment in Fairview, Mobay, when he had an altercation with a customer that became physical. It is alleged that Black pulled his licensed firearm and opened gunfire at the complainant, hitting him in the back of his right arm. A report was made to the police and an investigation was launched. After reviewing CCTV footage, Black was arrested and charged. Gas tanker driver arrested following seizure of loaded gun. The police on Tuesday arrested a gas tanker driver following the seizure of a loaded gun during a traffic stop along Michael Manley Boulevard in Kingston. His identity is being withheld pending further investigation. Reports from the Elliston Road Police are that about 7 a.m., a team was on duty in the area when the driver was observed committing breaches under the Road Traffic Act. The motorist was stopped. He complied but started to act in a manner that arose a suspicion of lawmen, according to the police. The vehicle was searched and a Glock pistol along with a magazine containing 16 9mm cartridges was found. The driver was subsequently taken into custody. Finance Minister Favor Williams says reduction in the GCT on electricity is part of a bigger plan to bring down electricity costs. Finance Minister Favor Williams says the planned reduction in the GCT on electricity is part of a bigger plan to bring down electricity costs. On Sunday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced that GCT on electricity will be reduced by 15% to 7% after the next budget in March next year. The opposition has criticized the plan, saying the most vulnerable Jamaicans will not benefit from the GCT reduction. Ms. Williams has sought to explain how the reduction will benefit Jamaicans. Speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing, the finance minister said Jamaica's electricity consumption is among the highest across the world. She said the initiative will allow JPS to aggressively roll out its prepaid service, giving Jamaicans more control over the power they use.
And I want Jamaicans to know that this is part of an overall bigger effort to reduce electricity costs in Jamaica. As you know, Jamaica ranks in the top 20 of countries globally with high electricity costs at about US 35 cents, or to put it in Jamaican terms, Jamaican $56 per kilowatt hour. You have a small fridge, say a 3.5 cubic feet fridge, it uses approximately 2.5 kilowatt hours per day. That translates into 140 Jamaican dollars per day, which sounds like a small amount of money. However, add to that light, AC, fan, washing machine, and you can see how your bill can get bigger very quickly. So other efforts to help reduce electricity costs include adding more renewables to the grid, and the portfolio minister, Minister Vaz, will speak to this in time. I am focused on the restructuring of GCT that was announced. What this will do is allow JPS to aggressively roll out nationally its prepaid service, giving Jamaicans more control over how much electricity they use and when they use it. Jamaicans with prepaid service can buy however much electricity they need, $100, $500, $1,000, and as often as they need to, so they can better match their income pattern with their affordability.
Pothole pains. With the National Works Agency NWA indicating that its effort to repair pothole pitch roads and breakaways spanning several parishes following weeks of rainfall has been hampered by continuous bad weather, the Jamaica Institute of Engineers JIE says that the case has been made for heightened scrutiny of Jamaican road construction and maintenance practices. I am not privy to information in terms of the affected roads and the cost of failure, Maybe some of these roads have been in place for a very long time and have not been upgraded, but certainly this gives us the opportunity to look at how we design and what standards we look at improving. With the occurrence of weather behavior, newly installed president of the Institute, Colin Porter, told reporters on Wednesday, we will continue to be that voice to remind persons that engineering comprises many aspects, and whilst engineers are very instructional in designing a lot of solutions, we have to pay attention to the execution, the construction, and also the maintenance of these various infrastructure and not just wait until failure before we think about maintenance, Porter added. Maintenance has to be something that takes place continually throughout the life of any infrastructure or system, he stated, adding that the GIE will put the issue high up the agenda on its upcoming Developers Forum and will be focusing on recommendations for its experts to the relevant state agencies. This certainly is one thing that we have to look at. As you know, earlier this year, we had some other debilitating effects from Hurricane Beryl and other storms. So these are things we are going to be looking at and making suggestions and recommendations as to how we can improve the practice and design and construction of roads and other infrastructure. Of course, we make recommendations, but it is dependent on the availability of resources. But certainly, we will allow our voice to be heard and will put forward our professional opinion in terms of what we think is the best way to go forward, Porter stated. Wednesday, veteran engineer and former GIE president Noel Da Costa told reporters that road construction and particularly maintenance of infrastructure needs a complete overhaul. We need to assess whether mall and a sub-base is really the best option for us in terms of longevity. Mall is cheaper and readily available, but we see the result in terms of quality and longevity of these roads, especially if they are not properly sealed. I think the whole road building and maintenance ethos need to rethink and a relook, the Costa stated. Asked whether Jamaica should explore another road construction standard as against the one now being used, he said, I am not qualified in that area where road construction standards are concerned, but the standard depends a lot on the topography where the road runs, while it's a flat, level land, or whether they are hillsides, and whether the hillsides are appropriate to the race. What is the geological of the area? There are a lot of variables, but the roads and the maintenance of the roads have to be appropriate for the substantium and for the topography. In response to various calls for more concrete roads, the engineering expert said, concrete roads are very expensive, and if not done properly, and if not maintained properly, we'll have plenty much and many issues, as we have now. But in terms of sealing, concrete seems to be better able to seal the proper road than asphalt. This have been studies done. The observations of the engineering expert come as the National Works Agency NWA on Wednesday indicated that Jamaicans might have to endure undesirable and road conditions a while longer. The National Works Agency acknowledges the significant challenges posed by the recent and ongoing persistent rainfall, which has been a considerable impact on the road maintenance and repair efforts across the island. We recognize that these weather conditions are not only inconvenient but also pose safety risks to all road users. The agency and government remain deeply committed to addressing these issues while ensuring that public safety and convenience remain our top priority, the entity in a statement said that was issued to the media, while pointing out that the government has allocated significant financial resources for road maintenance and repair, including the 3 billion REACH road repair program, the newly launched 1.5 billion constituency-based maintenance and cleanup program, and the upcoming 45 million Spark project. The NWA said the ongoing heavy rainfall island-wide has presented unique challenges, delaying the timely completion of their effort. The rains have not only hindered essential maintenance work, but have also disrupted the production of materials needed for repairs. Asphalt manufacturers, in particular, are facing difficulties as raw materials are exposed to the elements, which can compromise the quality of the final product if not given adequate time to dry. This is especially critical as the materials used in the road projects are highly sensitive to temperature and moisture condition, it explained. The agency also said, while efforts have been made to work around the weather, this has led to some material losses and delays in the completion of repairs. Regardless, the agency remains fully mobilized and continues to monitor weather conditions closely. In fact, the public may have witnessed our contractors actively repairing roads. These efforts are often interrupted by the rains, which can temporarily undo process. This should underscore our commitment to providing timely relief, as we are eager to complete repairs and improve road conditions as soon as weather conditions permit us, it assured. In the meantime, the entity said in response to the current condition, it has implemented a temporary solution to fill potholes with aggregate in affected areas. The NAA said this approach aims to provide a better driving experience during this time while allowing for proper service repair to be completed once conditions improve. It said, while aggregate is not a permanent fix, it will help to reduce the immediate inconvenience and risk to motorists. It is, meanwhile, urging motorists to exercise extreme caution, especially when driving over areas where potholes may be covered by water. It is important to reduce speed and navigate these areas carefully to avoid further damage to vehicles and ensure personal safety. We are encouraging road users to remain alert to changing conditions and exercise patience as work progresses, the NAA noted. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.